To News 9 Live, very exciting day in Parliament today, and I'm going to tell you what's most exciting. Just listen into this. It's the second day of the 18th Lok Sabha, and the big tussle right now is over who will be the Speaker of the new House. There is no consensus yet on the Speaker's post. The NDA wants to retain the Speaker's post, and Om Birla is likely to be its candidate. However, the opposition is firm on contesting for the Speaker's post and is likely to field K. Suresh. Earlier in the day, opposition leaders said that as per convention, the post of Deputy Speaker should go to the opposition. However, now there is a complete lack of consensus on both the posts. Congress leader K.C. Venugopal and Dravida Munnetra Kalagam's T.R. Balu walked out of Rajnath Singh's office, refusing to endorse the NDA nominee for the Speaker's post. And that is the big news which is coming right now. You heard it first here, how T.R. Balu of Dravida Munnetra Kalagam as well as K.C. Venugopal, senior Congress leader, have walked out of the meeting of Rajnath Singh's office, saying that we do not endorse the NDA nominee for the Speaker's post. Let me now go across to my colleague Brijesh Pandey, who's right now live from the newsroom to explain more on this. Brijesh, this is the one thing which is the sting in the tail, as it were. There is a lot of toing and froing on this issue, considering Narendra Modi has to now helm affairs at a government which does not have clear majority. So tell us, how will this impact the Speaker's position going forward from now?
Well, Sudha, one thing is very clear, that with the diminishing numbers and the opposition also buoyed by this recent success, there's going to be no chance of a success. It's going to be a quid pro quo as far as any kind of scenario within the Lok Sabha is concerned, and what we are witnessing is a testament to that. Earlier, NDA had reached out to the opposition leaders. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh had reached out to T.R. Balu, had reached out to Mallikarjun Kharge, had reached out to Mamata Banerjee and Akhilesh Yadav in order to build consensus for the post of Speaker. Rahul Gandhi, half an hour, 45 minutes ago, when he entered the Parliament, he told everyone very categorically that, that Mallikarjun Kharge received a call from Rajnath Singh. Rajnath Singh was told that the opposition is willing to play the ball as long as you guarantee us the post of Deputy Speaker. He said that Mallikarjun Kharge is yet to get the call. This is a clear indication that the government which talks of cooperation is not cooperating at all. And that is, since then, Rajnath Singh met with K.C. Venugopal, T.R. Balu and other senior opposition leaders to build a consensus. Opposition is firm that there is going to be no consensus till the government agrees for the post of Deputy Speaker to the opposition, and looks like that there has been no consensus. So two sets of nomination has been filed. First by Om Birla for the NDA, and K. Suresh, whose name was also there as the one who should be appointed for the pro tem Speaker, is the opposition Speaker candidate. So there is no consensus, what we have been given to understand as far as the post of Speaker is concerned. The government is clear that it does not want to give a post of Deputy Speaker as of now to the opposition, and opposition has made it very clear that if you don't give us the post of Deputy Speaker, then there's going to be an election for the post of Speaker, and that is exactly what is transpiring right now in Lok Sabha as we speak. All the top guns, are working behind the scenes, Sudha, to come up with some sort of, consensus or some sort of an agreement. But opposition has also made it very clear to the government that the only reason they will play ball as far as the post of Speaker is concerned is only if the government guarantees them the post of Deputy Speaker.
All right. So tell us, because in all this, what we all knew right from the beginning was there is going to be a big tussle so far as the position of the Speaker is concerned. It was there for everyone to read and watch, etc. But this particular thing which you just now told us about Balu and Venugopal walking out of Rajnath Singh, do you think this will be a flashpoint, or rather this is the flashpoint and there is going to be eyeball to eyeball confrontation?
Well, this is the flashpoint, because, one thing is very clear that when Rajnath Singh was appointed, many believe that the BJP has gone back to old school politics, putting forward the name of somebody who has access to and has good equation with most of the opposition parties. That is the reason why Rajnath Singh reached out to Mallikarjun Kharge, to Mamata Banerjee, to Akhilesh Yadav, and to other senior leaders of important political parties, DMK as well. But the opposition is insistent, the opposition is adamant that, the only reason we will play ball or we will agree to support your candidate for the post of Speaker is if you agree to give us the post of Deputy Speaker. And I think that has turned out to be the spanner as far as building consensus around the post of Speaker is concerned. If the government doesn't play or doesn't promise the opposition leaders that they will get the post of Deputy Speaker, I think the chances are that we will witness election for the post of Speaker. Om Birla is the NDA candidate. He has filed his nomination. K. Suresh, 8-time Lok Sabha MP, has become the opposition candidate for the post of Speaker. And until unless something happens, till tomorrow, when the elections are likely to take place post 11 a.m., I think the chances are that there is going to be election for the post of Speaker, until unless the government agrees to give the post of Deputy Speaker to the opposition.
Thank you so much, Brijesh Pandey, for joining us on the broadcast. So we are talking about who will be the speaker. That is our focus right now. Who will be the new speaker? That is the question that we are asking right now, considering that it is now a flashpoint with T.R. Balu of the DMK and also K.C. Venugopal of the Congress walking out of the meeting which was held by Rajnath Singh. What will it be next? Let's talk to the expert. K.V. Prasad, senior journalist, is joining us on the broadcast to speak more on this. Mr. Prasad, flashpoint indeed. Would you concur?
Well, it's all set because from all the announcements that we just heard, the Congress has decided, if the reports are coming, is that they wanted to field Mr. K. Suresh, Kodaikanal Suresh, as the candidate for speaker. So I think as of now, there's a stage is set for an election. Unless between now and the time for withdrawal of nomination, there is some kind of a rapprochement with the BJP agreeing to, if what Rahul Gandhi said a little while ago, for the Deputy Speaker's post, but very unlikely. Looks like the BJP wants to play the hardball, or decided that it will continue to have its way. It has the majority, so probably the numbers do stack up for them. But then they are going to test the waters, and I think the opposition will be testing the waters. This is not the last word we have heard, because then next comes the Deputy Speaker, if and when they decide the election. Because remember last time, the Deputy Speaker's post went blank. They didn't have a Deputy Speaker in the whole of the 17th Lok Sabha.
Absolutely. And you spoke about what Rahul Gandhi said. Let's listen in to Rahul Gandhi, then I come back and carry on with this discussion.
अखबार में लिखा है कि प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा है कि ऑपोजिशन को कंस्ट्रक्टिवली सरकार के साथ कोऑपरेट करना चाहिए। ऑपोजिशन ने क्लियरली कहा है, राजनाथ सिंह जी का खारगे जी को फोन आया, राजनाथ सिंह जी ने खारगे जी से कहा, देखिए आप हमारे स्पीकर को सपोर्ट कीजिए। ऑपोजिशन, पूरी ऑपोजिशन ने कहा है, हमने सबसे बात की है, पूरे ऑपोजिशन ने कहा है कि हम स्पीकर को सपोर्ट करेंगे, मगर कन्वेंशन ये है कि डेप्यूटी स्पीकर ऑपोजिशन को मिलना चाहिए। राजनाथ सिंह जी ने कल शाम कहा था कि वो खारगे जी को कॉल रिटर्न करेंगे। अभी तक राजनाथ सिंह जी ने खारगे जी का कॉल रिटर्न नहीं किया। तो मोदी जी कह रहे हैं कंस्ट्रक्टिव कोऑपरेशन हो, और फिर हमारे नेता को इंसल्ट करा जाता है। तो नियत साफ नहीं है। नरेंद्र मोदी जी कोई कंस्ट्रक्टिव कोऑपरेशन नहीं चाहते हैं, क्योंकि कन्वेंशन है कि डेप्यूटी स्पीकर ऑपोजिशन का होना चाहिए। और हमने कहा है, पूरे ऑपोजिशन ने कहा है कि अगर कन्वेंशन फॉलो किया जाएगा तो पूरा समर्थन स्पीकर के इलेक्शन में हम देंगे। तो ये मैं आपको क्लैरिफाई करना चाह रहा था। तो अभी क्या स्टेटस है? यूपीए के समय में हमने दिया था, बिल्कुल। तो मेरा कहना है कि नरेंद्र मोदी जी कहते कुछ है और करते कुछ है, यही इनकी फॉर्मूला है, यही इनकी स्ट्रेटजी है, और इनको ये बदलना ही पड़ेगा। ये इशू क्या है कि पूरा देश जानता है कि प्रधानमंत्री के शब्दों का कोई मतलब नहीं। प्रधानमंत्री कहते हैं कोऑपरेशन होनी चाहिए, सबको मिलकर काम करना चाहिए, बाहर वो कहते हैं और अंदर कुछ और करते हैं। और हमारे लीडर को कहा गया कि कॉल रिटर्न होगा, अभी तक कॉल रिटर्न नहीं हुआ।
And it's time for a break now, but I'm coming back and we shall focus on what you see right now. Who will be the new speaker, the twist and the turns, as it were. See you on the other side.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Why is the state not looking at putting an embargo on that?
As a Telangana person, I will not accept.
How do ordinary folks deal with this?
For the very first time in our investigation, we unmasked the killer of Ravindra Matre.
In 5G, we have to stand with the world, and in 6G, we have to lead the world.
Winning a Grammy was an absolutely surreal experience. There are beautiful golf courses, there are well-played golf courses, there are great greens. But I think we are a combination of everything.
Now, because of the nature-friendly atmosphere here, plenty of water, you can hear the birds. So lots and lots of birds live on this golf course.
Every corner you have a different vista. You have the beautiful Sayadri range behind you, and it's just endless. It keeps going on and on and on and on. So I think no matter what floor you are, you're always slapped in the face by this most amazing view that takes your breath away for a second.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Welcome back. This is what we are focusing on. Who shall be the new speaker in the new parliament? And of course, there are lots of twists and turns. First of all, let's also focus on who exactly is K. Suresh, because the opposition has filed a nomination in his name. There are lots of controversies about K. Suresh, rather surrounding K. Suresh, because Suresh himself objected to Mahtab being a pro-term speaker. So on your screens right now, who exactly is K. Suresh? He's a member of the Congress Working Committee. That's the news. You look at those pictures. We're getting those latest pictures on the brouhaha which have been created on the Speaker's choice in the new parliament. You of course see Raja there prominently standing there, and of course other faces as well. No consensus as of now. Dipinder Hooda as well. No consensus as of now on who shall be the new speaker. Of course, there is Om Birla, who is from the NDA. He is the nominee, and from the opposition it is K. Suresh. The opposition is also saying that we need a post for a deputy speaker. But Om Birla, there has been a consensus from the NDA to field him yet again and not to disturb the apple cart, as it were. Lots of suspense, lots of flashpoints today. T.R. Balu of the DMK as well as K.C. Venugopal, senior leader of the Congress party, both walked out of Rajnath's meeting over the issue regarding the Speaker of the new Parliament. And meanwhile, like Rahul Gandhi said yesterday, apparently President of the Congress party, Mallikarjun Kharge, called up Rajnath Singh, and Rajnath Singh, to which he said, "I will call you back." But there was no call backing, and therefore Rahul Gandhi said that Mallikarjun Kharge has been insulted. Insults, egos and getting ahead. That seems to be the flavor today in Parliament as to who shall be the Speaker. Of course, the Constitution lays out rules very, very clearly about who shall be the Speaker and why there needs to be a Deputy Speaker, if at all. Is there a provision for a pro-term Speaker according to the Constitution of India? Many questions, but as of now, no consensus, and we shall see that, as the day progresses as to where this goes. Will it once again be much like the elections, Congress versus the NDA in choosing? That's Om Birla on your screens. Who is Om Birla? We shall also tell you. Very, very prominent person, and this is seems to be man from Rajasthan. He seems to be the nominee for the Speaker's post. Let me now go across to K.V. Prasad, senior journalist, to speak more on this. We're talking about K. Suresh, of course, and there was a big controversy about that because K. Suresh said that he's been insulted. The word insult, Mr. Prasad, it's been repeated a lot of times, during this entire conversation about who shall be the Speaker. You insulted me, I insulted you back, etc., etc. Now, K. Suresh said that Mahtab cannot be the pro-term Speaker because he is not the longest serving. Whereas others, Pinarayi Vijayan also came out in support of Suresh and said because he is a Dalit, therefore there is opposition to him. Your views on that, sir?
Well, I think these are views. As for insult, it's an individual feeling that member has expressed. Probably, I think even before Mr. Suresh did speak, Congress also did, even before Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan, that one of the reasons they alluded is that because Mr. Suresh is a Dalit, he was denied the post. On the other hand, the BJP came up with this argument saying that Mr. Mahtab has the longest serving uninterrupted member of parliament. So, you can choose. There's an old saying which goes in governance, you show me the person, I'll show you the rule. So I guess we leave it at that. The fact remains, BJP was well in its right to select, because the position that says is a party who has, there's no indications are that the senior most member is nominated to be the pro-term Speaker. That's the convention. A party can decide if it wants to take a different route, which it has already done. Was pro-term Speaker such a big issue? Well, that's for the political managers and the parliamentary managers of the BJP to look on, because if you look at that stage, they've actually set the stage for, instead of a consensus building approach, instead of a kind of consultation processes taking due forward, the opposition sees this as a step towards confrontation, which right at the start of the 18th Lok Sabha doesn't really. You can start with a better note. That's the feeling.
Now, the thing is, Mr. Prasad, that look at the composition of the government. This news assumes more importance because of the way things have turned out after the results on 4th of June. Obviously, Mr. Modi does not have the numbers as he had wanted, etc., etc. Now, this government has to work, come what may. They have to have the C word, that is the consensus word, is of, most importance here, significance, because everything has to be, everyone, every party, every concern has to be taken together. Now, the duty of the Speaker, of course, as laid out in the Constitution, is he's supposed to be non-partisan, so that he can do his job efficiently. Also, the composition of the parliamentary committees, also, who speaks what and when, almost like he's orchestrating. He is the man sitting there and orchestrating, almost like, puppeteer, as it were. So, do you think that the opposition, is being paranoid when they say that, okay, fine, Om Birla, but then we have K. Suresh and also we want the Deputy Speaker? Are they doubting, or are they creating unnecessary hurdles in the, in the selection or election of a Speaker, Mr. Prasad?
Well, the Speaker remains the most important person because the Speaker is the custodian of the House. And when you talk of the House includes all the 543 elected members of Parliament. And they include members who are on the governing coalition side, they include members who are on the opposition side, and they also include members who are independent or do not align either way. So they decide how to conduct their proceedings, which way they will decide on individual issues. Having said that, probably the opposition is carrying, if I were to say, some of the impressions about the conduct that they felt they objected to in the last Lok Sabha. Because we heard this frequent narration over a period of time, it keeps cropping up ever now and then. That last December, an unprecedented number of members of parliament were, shown the door for a temporary suspended for acts which they are not supposed to do. Those are rules, those are procedures that have to be followed fair. But this is where the speaker's role sets in. He's a custodian of the house, so I guess that's one thing. But here, what you said, consensus. The BJP probably does realize that 240 is not. They don't have enough. They need the elbow room, which probably the cushions they get is from the TDP and the Janata Dal United. Those two numbers add up, and they are through comfortably. And today, as things stand, both the JDU and TDP are strongly with the government. They have made public statements to the effect that they are going to go with the choice of the speaker of the BJP. So here they are. I don't see at this point of time the word consensus to be a major issue, because I think the government will move as it moves on. It will start looking for things. The other issue is Lok Sabha, they have a comfortable majority. Say we can look at a figure of 300 approximately. The opposition doesn't add to that kind of number. So there will be a constant negotiation more on the opposition side to try and see if we can turn the tables. Because remember, Speaker, Deputy Speaker elections, if and when it's held. The third is the budget session. That's a big session always. The budget session is always the most precarious session, because the finance bill has to be passed. And the failure of clearing a finance bill means the government has in jeopardy. No government would like to that. No elected MPs would like to have a situation so soon from elections. But this is a constant test. And then comes the Rajya Sabha, which is a different ball game, especially since Mr. Naveen Patnaik decided they'll be opposing it.
Yes, that's the latest, of course. And Mr. Prasad, let me take a break now. Then I come back to the same. Oh, we have Mr. Rajnath.
वैसे जहाँ तक खड़गे जी का प्रश्न है, एक सीनियर लीडर हैं, उनका सम्मान करता हूँ। कल से लेकर आज तक उनसे 3 बार हमारी बात हुई।
पहली बार चुनाव होने जा रहा है।
There you heard Rajnath Singh. He said, I respect Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge and I have spoken to him thrice. Again, once again, the question of insult. I'm going to take a break right now, and when we come back, I'll get you more on this. But our focus is who shall be the new speaker. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
20,000 people dead and counting. What's happening in the United States of America is unprecedented. You will have to pay for this.
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए, और कमाना है तो खरीदिए। जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर। पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है मनी 9। आजादी पैसे की। अभी डाउनलोड करें।
This is News 9 Live, India's only digital exclusive live stream. For the early adopters, bringing you the news 24/7. For the smart audiences on the smartest TVs. News 9 Live, Stream now on your smart TVs.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Welcome back. That's what we are focusing on. Who shall be the new speaker? In all this, there is a bit of a controversy which is now unfolded. Rahul Gandhi said that Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge made a phone call to Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh but never got a call back. And now Rajnath has said, I respect the senior leader and I have spoken to him thrice. Who's speaking the truth? We'll find out. Listen in.
में लिखा है कि प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा है कि ऑपोजिशन को कंस्ट्रक्टिवली सरकार के साथ कोऑपरेट करना चाहिए। ऑपोजिशन ने क्लियरली कहा है, राजनाथ सिंह जी का खारगे जी को फोन आया, राजनाथ सिंह जी ने खारगे जी से कहा देखिए आप हमारे स्पीकर को सपोर्ट कीजिए। ऑपोजिशन, पूरी ऑपोजिशन ने कहा है, हमने सबके सबसे बात की है, पूरे ऑपोजिशन ने कहा है कि हम स्पीकर को सपोर्ट करेंगे, मगर कन्वेंशन ये है कि डेप्यूटी स्पीकर ऑपोजिशन को मिलना चाहिए। राजनाथ सिंह जी ने कल शाम कहा था कि वो खारगे जी को कॉल रिटर्न करेंगे। अभी तक राजनाथ सिंह जी ने खारगे जी का कॉल रिटर्न नहीं किया। तो मोदी जी कह रहे हैं कंस्ट्रक्टिव कोऑपरेशन हो और फिर हमारे नेता को इंसल्ट करा जा रहा है। तो नियत साफ नहीं है। नरेंद्र मोदी जी कोई कंस्ट्रक्टिव कोऑपरेशन नहीं चाहते हैं क्योंकि कन्वेंशन है कि डेप्यूटी स्पीकर ऑपोजिशन का होना चाहिए और हमने कहा है, पूरे ऑपोजिशन ने कहा है कि अगर कन्वेंशन फॉलो किया जाएगा तो पूरा समर्थन स्पीकर के इलेक्शन में हम देंगे। तो ये मैं आपको क्लैरिफाई करना चाह रहा था। तो अभी क्या स्टेटस है? यूपीए के समय में हमने दिया था। बिल्कुल। तो मेरा कहना है कि नरेंद्र मोदी जी कहते कुछ है और करते कुछ है, यही इनकी फॉर्मूला है, यही इनकी स्ट्रेटजी है और इनको ये बदलना ही पड़ेगा। अभी का क्या इशू क्या है कि पूरा देश जानता है कि प्रधानमंत्री के शब्दों का कोई मतलब नहीं। प्रधानमंत्री कहते हैं कोऑपरेशन होनी चाहिए, सबको मिलकर काम करना चाहिए, बाहर वो कहते हैं और अंदर कुछ और करते हैं। और हमारे लीडर को कहा गया कि कॉल रिटर्न होगा, अभी तक कॉल रिटर्न नहीं हुआ।
विपक्ष ने उम्मीदवार
को कॉल बैक नहीं किया गया आपके द्वारा।
राहुल गांधी जी ने कहा कि खड़गे जी ने
वैसे जहाँ तक खड़गे जी का प्रश्न है, एक सीनियर लीडर हैं, मैं उनका सम्मान करता हूँ। कल से लेकर आज तक उनसे 3 बार हमारी बात हुई है।
All right, so let me now go across to my colleague Brijesh Pandey as to who's speaking the truth. But more important than that is that isn't this putting unnecessary kind of hurdles or impediments in who will be the speaker? Brijesh, take it away.
Well, I think, Sudha, this is for the first time in the history of Lok Sabha, there's going to be an election for the post of speaker. And one thing is very clear, with the changed dynamic, the changed arithmetic of the 18th Lok Sabha, where the BJP does not have an absolute majority, is clearly telling its tale, and the way opposition is dealing with the government. The government made it clear that they would want to have the post of speaker. Earlier, there were talks about how TDP is keen to have its own candidate as the speaker of the Lok Sabha. But later on, the BJP was able to convince its ally partners that let BJP have it, since it's the largest party, and everybody played along. But the opposition said that we agree to support your candidate for the post of speaker. We agree to make it unanimous, as has been the convention for the election of the post of speaker. But you will have to agree to give us the post of Deputy Speaker, as has also been the convention. And that is the reason why we saw Rahul Gandhi trying to set the record straight and to counter the source-based information which was being fed from the side of the government, that the government is kind of agreed to give the post of Speaker and all. And that is the reason why post what Rahul Gandhi said on the stairs of the Lok Sabha, there was a meeting in which K.C. Venugopal, T.R. Balu and others attended. The meeting was chaired by Rajnath Singh, who has been appointed by the NDA to build that consensus. And in that meeting, T.R. Balu and K.C. Venugopal walked out when the government did not give them a concrete assurance that they will let opposition have the post of Deputy Speaker. Now with Rajnath Singh coming out, I think the BJP wants to set the record straight when Rajnath Singh said that he has spoken to Mallikarjun Kharge thrice, because the BJP does not want to give an impression that they just spoke to Mallikarjun Kharge, senior, the second largest party, only once and did not made the attempt to reach out more. So both sides are trying to set the narrative, but I think the chances of the election for the post of Speaker looks all set until unless till 11 AM tomorrow, when the Lok Sabha will commence for voting for the post of Lok Sabha Speaker. I think the government has chance till tomorrow to prevail upon the opposition, to convince opposition or promise opposition that they will give the post of Deputy Speaker to them. Barring that, the stage is all set for election for the post of Speaker as well as the Deputy Speaker.
Brijesh, a lot of it is about posturing. It's about what kind of message do you send out. Politics these days is mostly posturing and, perception. Now, look at what Rahul Gandhi said. He said, Modi ji कहते कुछ हैं, करते कुछ और हैं, right? हमारे सीनियर लीडर ने उनको फ़ोन किया और इंसल्ट है ये हमारे सीनियर लीडर की। राजनाथ जी कम्स आउट एंड सेज कि बड़े सीनियर लीडर हैं, मैं उनका आदर करता हूँ, 3 बार मेरी उनसे बात हो चुकी है। It's also about creating a narrative about, this liar. Who's the liar? I mean, who's this? I mean, they are always. I think that is also of equal significance, Brijesh Pandey, in the times that we live in.
Well, absolutely. If yesterday was the day of Rahul Gandhi versus Prime Minister Narendra Modi, today it looks like, it's Rahul Gandhi versus Rajnath Singh. Both sides are trying to create a narrative. The opposition led by Rahul Gandhi is trying to create a narrative of how the government wants to bulldoze through, does not promise the opposition the post of Deputy Speaker, talk of convention, take support of the opposition for the post of Deputy Speaker, but give nothing in return. And that is how they want to run this particular session. The government wants to convey the impression or counter the impression by saying that no, we are talking to the opposition leaders. We have spoken not once as claimed by Rahul Gandhi, but thrice to Mallikarjun Kharge. We want them to listen to our side of the position, but the hardening of position which has been taken by opposition is also not right as far as democracy is concerned. So you're absolutely right, Sudha, that both sides want to make sure that their narrative is the one which gains credence. Their narrative is the one which gets maximum traction, because it helps both sides build a very bechara kind of a situation where to project that the other side, which is more number, is trying to bulldoze us through.
You nailed it. Thank you so much, Brijesh Pandey, on that perspective. Let me now go across to Mr. Prasad, senior journalist, who's also joined us right now. Mr. Prasad, if you're still around, can I have you on the screen, Mr. Prasad?
Yes, please. Yeah, I'm
Mr. Prasad, I mean, what I was talking to my colleague, who's also the political editor, is about, the kind of perceptions which we live in the times of half-truths, and that's how, news is done in most parts. We are out of it, you and I. Thank God for small mercies, we were born another era. But I'm asking you, Mr. Prasad, that this kind of a thing, that listen, he doesn't call back. Who? Rajnath. Here, Rajnath saying, I called him thrice. So you see, on top of it is the narrative that why is the parliament not allowed to work? The hours that you spend there, it is spent, either kind of casting aspersions or laughing out loud at someone else. Do you think that this kind of a tactic will also add to that narrative that they delayed it? They'll say, no, we didn't, they delayed it.
Well, I think what you said is right. Both sides are trying to build a narrative, trying to say the other side is being unreasonable, right? That being the case. But here, I would look at it slightly differently. I would cut away from all this thing about who called how many times. Look at the end result. The end result is there is going to be an election as of now. So whether I called once or I called thrice, whether I respect you as a senior leader or not, The political messaging is clear that the BJP is unwilling to concede space to opposition at all, or even if it feels it should, it wants to do it on its own terms. That could be the political messaging. I mean, right now, by not the Congress and the NDA alliance decided that they should have their deputy speakers post the convention, no assurance, if they say, has been given. That's why they filed a case papers for Mr. Kodekulu Suresh. So that is the message. The message is they're not conceding any space. It doesn't matter you call once or thrice narratives. Parliament is functioning in the sense new members are taking oath as per the process. They have to complete the process before the speaker's election has to be held tomorrow.
On that note, let me take a break now. Ladies and gentlemen, K.V. Prasad, senior journalist, is still with us, and he shall weigh in as we progress through the day on the topic which you can see on the wall right now. And I turn, that's why who will be the new speaker. I'm taking a break. Like I said, back in a moment. Don't go away.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
For the very first time in our investigation, we unmasked the killer of Ravindra Matre.
In 5G, we have to stand with the world, and in 6G, we have to lead the world.
Winning a Grammy was an absolutely surreal experience.
The confidence is certainly back in the market.
Do tighten your seat belt so that you can withstand volatility.
I have one humble request to all the viewers of News 9 is that please don't go, there will be a lot of choppiness, there will be a lot of volatility. Look at long term, don't look at short term. Buy quality, don't buy quantity, and wish you all the very best.
हमारा टाइम आ गया है और रहेगा।
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
You're watching News 9 Live, and our focus has been who will be the new speaker. Let's listen in to some voices on that same topic as to who shall be the speaker in the new parliament.
लोकतंत्र की अपनी एक प्रणाली होती है, उसमें आज के दिन स्पीकर का चुनाव था। माननीय स्पीकर के पद के लिए सभी एनडीए के घटक दलों से चर्चा के बाद ऐसा तय हुआ कि माननीय ओम बिरला जी लोकसभा के माननीय अध्यक्ष के रूप में सेवा करें, और सुबह भी माननीय खड़गे जी से माननीय राजनाथ सिंह जी ने चर्चा करनी चाहिए, पर वो किधर व्यस्त थे, तो उन्होंने कहा कि वेणुगोपाल जी आपको बात करेंगे। लेकिन जब बालू जी और वेणुगोपाल जी से बात हुई,
It's a contest. How can I say I will win or lose? It's an election.
After result only we can understand.
सर संख्या बल तो साफ दिखाई देता है, अभी क्या रणनीति रही है कि आप
Deputy Speaker, have you majority? You have not majority despite that you have filed.
Whether winning or losing, there is a convention in Lok Sabha. So speaker will be in the ruling party or opposition will be the deputy speaker. Last two Lok Sabha, they denied us because they said you are not a recognized opposition. Now we are a recognized opposition. The deputy speaker is right for us, but they are not ready to give us. Again, till 11:50, we are waiting for the reply from the government side, but they didn't give any reply. That's why we filed. Time is there. Time is there.
Thank you.
All right, you heard what K. Suresh said there, and we can play it again. K. Suresh is the man, the nominee from the opposition side, who's saying that there is a convention in Parliament that the longest serving will be made the Speaker, and he said we shall wait for what happens or what goes on and for the decision. Mr. Prasad is still with us, senior journalist and political analyst. Mr. Prasad, you know, I was reading a very interesting article. It says that the Speaker's independence is neither codified by the Constitution nor is it enforced through any strong constitutional convention. He is in a sense, he or she, a nominee of the ruling party or coalition, and he has to be independent minded, and therefore they feel that, you know, there is a dichotomy in this, because in a coalition setup, how do you get somebody who is only working for the benefit of all the members of Parliament? Any thoughts on that, Mr. Prasad?
Well, I can give you two instances straight away where coalitions were in the order of the day. They had the coalitions were running the government. If you remember, in the year 1996 and 1998 period, when Mr. Deve Gaura's government was in office, the Speaker was from the Congress party. His name was Mr. P.S. Hangma, right? And on one particular occasion, I still remember, there was a problem with the United Front government and the Congress on a particular issue, and the House was not functioning for a couple of days. And one fine day, the Speaker says, okay, I'm adjourning the House sine die, you people sort out your issues and come back to the House. The Speaker played his role. He decided that he has to run the House for the benefit of all. Now you come to 2007, when Mr. Somnath Chatterjee of CPIM was the Speaker of the House, he decided to step away from the party politics. And if you remember, there was a confrontation between his party and him over the nuclear deal, and there was a trust vote coming up in the House, and the Communist Party of India Marxist Politburo wanted him to step down before the voting, because they wanted him to vote against it and not be overseeing the particular vote. But Mr. Chatterjee said, no, I am the Speaker and custodian of the House, so I will continue to do my job. And post that, I think he was expelled from the party. So that is how we have seen the Speakers conduct. They were coalition. They were not from the ruling party or the lead party in the governing coalition. Mr. Sangma was, the Congress was not inside the Deve Gaura government. The CPIM was not inside the Manmohan Singh-led UPA government. So those were two instances I just gave you.
Mr. Prasad, then why the paranoia? If the Speaker is somebody who shall go by the convention of the House and see to it that he plays the role of a non-partisan entity, then look at this, Om Birla versus K. Suresh, the slugfest which continues, and we've seen many twists and turns. Somewhere there is a doubt, sir, and I think that you of course, Mr. Prasad, spoke about the budget. There are other things, for instance, a criminal bill, for instance, a bill on crime, or other things where you have to be not always be genuflecting to the executive, but look at it as, you know, an overall expansive discussion. Don't you think that in this coalition we are seeing the paranoia larger than what it should be?
Well, as I said, the current members of the current House, some of them who have been re-elected, must be carrying remembrance or impressions from the last House. Now remember, if you look at it, nothing has changed. The BJP remains in the driver's seat. It may have the reduced numbers, but still is the lead party in the governing coalition, number one. Number two, if Mr. Birla is the nominee, the same Mr. Birla's conduct is what they have been questioning outside during the various debates and discussions outside the House. So that is, they're carrying it. Paranoia is also because of the fact that, if you remember right up to, the Speaker has a lot of role to play in everything that, any bill that needs to be taken forward, because remember, in many a time, the opposition has made this point that bills are not being referred to the standing committees for scrutiny. Now, it is the Speaker's discretion. There are times when the government of the day may say, yes, no, we are in a hurry, we need this legislation to be passed ASAP. But the Speaker's decision and is the Speaker's discretion comes into play. He or the person in the place can say, no, let's refer this bill to the standing committee as per convention. So that all these are issues, and as I said, Parliament is not just rules of conduct and procedure, but also run on conventions, and that is where the Speaker's role becomes important.
All right, let's listen into some voices and then we get back to the discussion with Mr. KV Prasad.
देखिए, जैसा मैंने कहा कि इस तरीके से शर्त लोकतंत्र में नहीं रखी जाती, और खास तौर पे जब सदन के अध्यक्ष की आप बात कर रहे हैं, आप उसके सामने शर्त रखेंगे कि एक डिप्टी स्पीकर का पद जब तक डिसाइड नहीं कर लिया जाता तब तक आप सहमति नहीं देंगे। इस तरीके से लोकतंत्र नहीं चलता।
देखिए, अगर प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी का बुलडोजर वाला एटीट्यूड नहीं बदलता तो हमें भी अपनी तरीके से संघर्ष करना पड़ेगा। प्रधानमंत्री कहते एक चीज है, करते कुछ और। कल कहा था सहमति का, और आज जो उप अध्यक्ष का पद है वो देने के लिए तैयार नहीं। तो अगर पहले जैसा ही अहंकार बरकरार रहेगा तो हमारा भी लोकतंत्र को बचाने का और सदन की गरिमा को बचाने का संघर्ष बरकरार रहेगा, और इसीलिए हमने अपनी तरफ से के सुरेश जी उनको आगे हमने किया है।
लोकतंत्र की अपनी एक प्रणाली होती है, उसमें आज के दिन स्पीकर का चुनाव था। माननीय स्पीकर के पद के लिए सभी एनडीए के घटक दलों से चर्चा के बाद ऐसा तय हुआ कि माननीय ओम बिरला जी लोकसभा के माननीय अध्यक्ष के रूप में सेवा करें, और सुबह भी माननीय खड़गे जी से माननीय राजनाथ सिंह जी ने चर्चा करनी चाहिए, पर वो किधर व्यस्त थे, तो उन्होंने कहा कि वेणुगोपाल जी आपको बात करेंगे। लेकिन जब बालू जी और वेणुगोपाल जी से बात हुई, उसमें जिस प्रकार से एक पुरानी मानसिकता है कि हम डिक्टेट करेंगे टर्म्स को, उस मानसिकता को फिर से दिखाया गया कि नहीं, शर्त है कि पहले लोकसभा का उपाध्यक्ष कौन होगा वो पहले तय करें, फिर अध्यक्ष के लिए समर्थन मिलेगा। इस प्रकार की राजनीति को हम की निंदा करते हैं, और मुझे लगता है कि अच्छी परंपरा ये रहती कि लोकसभा निर्विरोध एक सर्वसम्मति से अध्यक्ष चुनता, तो लोकसभा की भी मर्यादा अच्छी रहती, सभी पक्ष का उसमें योगदान रहता, और स्पीकर वैसे भी किसी सत्तारूढ़ पार्टी या विपक्ष का नहीं होता है, वो पूरे सदन का होता है।
All right, so the word which I keep hearing again and again is insult and also bulldozing your way through. So it may as well become a big ego battle. Mr. Prasad, the other concern which has come from Aditya Thackeray is against Om Birla, and he says, and that's one of the things, that because the speakers in the past have not shown enough teeth when it comes to defections, when it comes to a party being completely reduced to a minority, because in the who's the real Shiva Sena issue also, that's, I think that's where the concern of Aditya Thackeray is coming up. What do you have to say on that, sir?
Well, I think that is one of the reasons why the opposition feels, as you said, paranoid, probably, right? Because Aditya Thackeray's what he speaks is the own experience they've had in the Maharashtra, where the NDA government had to lost steam, and then we all see what kind of decisions came up finally, who was the real Shiv Sena, the symbol, everything got decided differently. So I guess that is one reason, because the speaker again is the person who decides when an anti-defection issue comes up. If members of the parliament or members of the or any government be in the state, the speaker. In fact, if you remember during probably about 5-6 years ago, when Mr. Venkaiah Naidu decided a particular case in Rajya Sabha, he made it a point saying that speakers should, weigh in and decide on these issues in the shortest possible time. and not sit on judgments, because there have been many instances in several state legislatures where the speakers have not taken a call on resignations, and thereby, the government, even if it's law, retains power or things like that, or vice versa. So I guess that is probably in what Mr. statement you just referred to.
All right, Mr. Prasad, carrying on with this is, so which means pretty much, the future of political parties. Also, the speaker is the repository of it in more ways than one. I do not mean from the time when they are formed, the genesis of it, but their continuation, as it were. And if there is any problem and, to see to it, then the speaker does become somebody who is the custodian of the future of a political party.
So the question is, the speaker has enormous powers. He's the custodian of the house. He decides, he or she, the person as a speaker, decides on many things on day-to-day conduct. And that is why, as convention has had it, we've had no election to the post, because if you ever notice, probably tomorrow we'll see, when the speaker gets elected, all sides, the opposition and the governing coalition lead, they accompany the speaker to the chair. That is a convention, thereby sending a message that you are our speaker. That means speaker of the house. You are representing all of us. That is the thing. But tomorrow, if there is an election, there will be a very clear-cut division, and the division, whichever way the majority gets the vote, will become the speaker. The convention may still be followed, because the speaker of the house remains the speaker of the house, irrespective of the numbers that stacked up for or against. So that is where it remains. It's a convention, but till tomorrow 11 o'clock, we'll see if there is some way out, but looks very difficult, because we just heard Mr. Piyush Goyal say that they cannot be allowed to dictate terms. So I guess the ball is pretty well set for, which also means if there is a deputy speaker's election following this, there will be an election.
Mr. Prasad, I want to ask you before I let you go as to how do you see this sorry, I'm asking you to kind of be clairvoyant, but then because considering you have so much of experience, do you think by tomorrow we will have a consensus, or do you think this is going to snowball into a big controversy, as it were?
Raji, you're right. I can't be reading the tea leaves, but taking a political guess, a guess from what I've covered politics, covered parliament for almost 3 decades, I don't see much room for conciliatory approaches coming up, because if these statements, what we heard, and these are public statements, this is not conversations which are behind the closed doors. Mr. Piyush Goyal very clearly saying, we heard another Union Minister, Mr. Paswan saying, Chirag Paswan saying what he said. And on the other hand, we heard Mr. Gaurav Gogoi say. So I think it's a very, very stiff stance they have taken and publicly taken. So it looks like there is going to be an election, unless there's a very severe change of mind. It doesn't look possible at this point of time. And as I said, taking a step forward, if that is the case, there also will be a space for deputy speaker's election.
On that note, Mr. K.V. Prasad, thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast. And let's listen into some more voices on what has become a contentious issue. Who shall be the new speaker in the new parliament?
देखिए, अगर प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी का बुलडोजर वाला एटीट्यूड नहीं बदलता तो हमें भी अपनी तरीके से संघर्ष करना पड़ेगा। प्रधानमंत्री कहते एक चीज है, करते कुछ और। कल कहा था सहमति का, और आज जो उप अध्यक्ष का पद है वो देने के लिए तैयार नहीं। तो अगर पहले जैसा ही अहंकार बरकरार रहेगा तो हमारा भी लोकतंत्र को बचाने का और सदन की गरिमा को बचाने का संघर्ष बरकरार रहेगा। और इसीलिए हमने अपनी तरफ से के सुरेश जी उनको आगे हमने किया है।
लोकतंत्र की अपनी एक प्रणाली होती है, उसमें आज के दिन स्पीकर का चुनाव था। माननीय स्पीकर के पद के लिए सभी एनडीए के घटक दलों से चर्चा के बाद ऐसा तय हुआ कि माननीय ओम बिरला जी लोकसभा के माननीय अध्यक्ष के रूप में सेवा करें। और सुबह भी माननीय खड़गे जी से माननीय राजनाथ सिंह जी ने चर्चा करनी चाहिए, पर वो किधर व्यस्त थे, तो उन्होंने कहा कि वेणुगोपाल जी आपको बात करेंगे। लेकिन जब बालू जी और वेणुगोपाल जी से बात हुई, उसमें जिस प्रकार से एक पुरानी मानसिकता है कि हम डिक्टेट करेंगे टर्म्स को, उस मानसिकता को फिर से दिखाया गया कि नहीं, शर्त है कि पहले लोकसभा का उपाध्यक्ष कौन होगा वो पहले तय करें, फिर अध्यक्ष के लिए समर्थन मिलेगा। इस प्रकार की राजनीति को हम की निंदा करते हैं और मुझे लगता है कि अच्छी परंपरा ये रहती है कि लोकसभा निर्विरोध एक सर्वसम्मति से अध्यक्ष चुनता, तो लोकसभा की भी मर्यादा अच्छी रहती, सभी पक्ष का उसमें योगदान रहता और स्पीकर वैसे भी किसी सत्तारूढ़ पार्टी या विपक्ष का नहीं होता है, वो पूरे सदन का होता है।
How do you fulfill that promise? Because ultimately expectations have to be met. If you look at the political landscape, is it really changing for women? And what is the inability of the forces that dead bodies surface but not the living people?
When we talk about India, unfortunately the country has the highest burden of road crash fatalities.
तो लगभग 76% लोग पेडेस्ट्रियंस और टू व्हीलर वाले हैं जिनकी डेथ हुई है. While the highways are getting better in India, the local roads, the city roads, the town roads, these need to be improved.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
A second ship sunk in the Red Sea on the 19th of June after Yemen's Houthi rebels attacked the vessels and killed one mariner on board. The Iran-backed group has been attacking ships in the vital maritime corridor over the Israel-Hamas war in the Gaza Strip. The group used two different bomb-carrying drone boats to hit the vessel from both its side and the stern. What are these Houthi suicide boats? News 9 Plus decodes. They are unmanned speedboats laden with power explosive. These drone-operated boats are also called suicide boats, but they do not need suicide attackers to carry out a suicide-like attack. It is speculated that the origins of these boats is in Iran. They're also called USVs or unmanned surface vessels. These boats explode on impact. A USV can easily be mistaken for a fishing vessel. The Houthis have been driving these boats with extreme precision. How can the ships evade these suicide boats? Well, merchant ships detect their targets visually by using their radars. So if there's a target moving in your direction and the target doesn't have its own identity, then it becomes a suspect vessel. Is the shipping sector prepared to tackle these attacks? Merchant ships are not ready to handle such threats. Why? Because small fishing vessels do not have a unique identity. That's when a merchant ship's crew uses binoculars to identify these fishing vessels. Since these kamikaze boats look like fishing vessels, it's nearly impossible to identify them as a potential threat. It is also difficult to turn around a merchant ship since they sail at much lower speeds than the USVs. Even the combined maritime forces operating in the Gulf of Aden are facing this challenge. They're also in Black Sea being used in the ongoing Russian-Ukraine war. Why are the Houthis using these tactics? Well, the Houthis are possibly targeting certain types of vessels and ship owners, basically the ones who are closer to the allied forces. They are creating a paradigm shift, and these tactics are unique and new. While everyone is prepared to take on the pirates, these days, such tactics add an element of surprise to the attacks. How will these attacks affect Red Sea shipping? The Red Sea and the Suez are the two of the most significant shipping routes. The Houthi attacks are restricted to the Gulf of Aden. In April and May this year, the air cargo from West Asia to Europe shot up by 30%, meaning the two routes were completely skipped. The number of ships going through the Suez has also declined. there has been a 68% drop, which will significantly hit the Egyptian economy. Plus, diverting around the Red Sea is something that all industries will not be able to accommodate.
Why is the state not looking at putting an embargo on that?
As a Telangana person, I will not accept.
How do ordinary folks deal with this?
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए, और कमाना है तो खरीदिए। जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर। पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है मनी 9। आजादी पैसे की, अभी डाउनलोड करें।
Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning in to News 9 Live. I'm Kabir Naqvi. You're watching this special broadcast from our studios here in the National Capital Region. Right on the top of this news wheel, ladies and gentlemen, we're trying to probe the question as to who's going to be the speaker in the 18th Lok Sabha. It's just the second day and a big tussle already over those names. The NDA has put forth the name of the previous speaker, Om Birla, and of course now India Alliance. The opposition bloc has also fielded K. Suresh's name. They're demanding the post of the deputy speaker. The NDA, it seems like, is not willing to give that post up. What's going to happen? Well, let's find out. It's the second day, like I mentioned, of the 18th Lok Sabha, and the big tussle right now is over who will be the speaker of the new house. Some of those visuals on your screens as to the nomination of Om Birla and K. Suresh, it has already happened. For the second time after the year 1952, an election will take place, ladies and gentlemen, for the speaker's post. Well, it seems like it so far. From the NDA side, Om Birla has filed his nomination for the speaker's post. The opposition, India, too, has filed its candidate for the speaker's post. Congress Member of Parliament K. Suresh has filed his nomination for the post of the Speaker of the lower house. Now, the opposition had earlier demanded the post of the deputy speaker if it wanted to if it wanted consensus on the name of the speaker. Congress leader K.C. Venugopal, he said that the NDA refused to pay heed to its demand and hence it fielded its own candidate K. Suresh. The election will take place on Wednesday at 11 a.m. Most other speakers in the past have been elected based on a consensus, ladies and gentlemen. After 1952, there's going to be an election for the post of the speaker. Reactions from major stakeholders coming up next.
विपक्ष ने उम्मीदवार उतारा
कॉल बैक नहीं किया गया आपके द्वारा।
राहुल गांधी जी ने कहा कि खड़गे जी ने वैसे जहां तक खड़गे जी का प्रश्न है, एक सीनियर लीडर हैं, मैं उनका सम्मान करता हूं। कल से लेकर आज तक उनसे 3 बार हमारी बात हुई।
अखबार में लिखा है कि प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा है कि ऑपोजिशन को कंस्ट्रक्टिवली सरकार के साथ कोऑपरेट करना चाहिए। ऑपोजिशन ने क्लियरली कहा है, राजनाथ सिंह जी का खारगे जी को फोन आया, राजनाथ सिंह जी ने खारगे जी से कहा, देखिए आप हमारे स्पीकर को सपोर्ट कीजिए। ऑपोजिशन, पूरी ऑपोजिशन ने कहा है, हमने सबके सबसे बात की है, पूरे ऑपोजिशन ने कहा है कि हम स्पीकर को सपोर्ट करेंगे, मगर कन्वेंशन ये है कि डेप्यूटी स्पीकर ऑपोजिशन को मिलना चाहिए। राजनाथ सिंह जी ने कल शाम कहा था कि वो खारगे जी को कॉल रिटर्न करेंगे। अभी तक राजनाथ सिंह जी ने खारगे जी का कॉल रिटर्न नहीं किया। तो मोदी जी कह रहे हैं कंस्ट्रक्टिव कोऑपरेशन हो, और फिर हमारे नेता को इंसल्ट करा जा रहा है। तो नियत साफ नहीं है। नरेंद्र मोदी जी कोई कंस्ट्रक्टिव कोऑपरेशन नहीं चाहते हैं, क्योंकि कन्वेंशन है कि डेप्यूटी स्पीकर ऑपोजिशन का होना चाहिए, और हमने कहा है, पूरे ऑपोजिशन ने कहा है कि अगर कन्वेंशन फॉलो किया जाएगा तो पूरा समर्थन स्पीकर के इलेक्शन में हम देंगे। तो ये मैं आपको क्लैरिफाई करना चाह रहा था। तो
अभी क्या स्टेटस है?
यूपीए के समय में हमने दिया था। बिल्कुल। तो मेरा कहना है कि नरेंद्र मोदी जी कहते कुछ है और करते कुछ है, यही इनकी फॉर्मूला है, यही इनकी स्ट्रेटजी है और इनको ये बदलना ही पड़ेगा।
अभी का क्या
इशू क्या है कि पूरा देश जानता है कि प्रधानमंत्री के शब्दों का कोई मतलब नहीं। प्रधानमंत्री कहते हैं कोऑपरेशन होनी चाहिए, सबको मिलकर काम करना चाहिए, बाहर वो कहते हैं और अंदर कुछ और करते हैं। और हमारे लीडर को कहा गया कि कॉल रिटर्न होगा, अभी तक कॉल रिटर्न नहीं हुआ।
लोकतंत्र की अपनी एक प्रणाली होती है, उसमें आज के दिन स्पीकर का चुनाव था। माननीय स्पीकर के पद के लिए सभी एनडीए के घटक दलों से चर्चा के बाद ऐसा तय हुआ कि माननीय ओम बिरला जी लोकसभा के माननीय अध्यक्ष के रूप में सेवा करें। और सुबह भी माननीय खड़गे जी से माननीय राजनाथ सिंह जी ने चर्चा करनी चाहिए, पर वो किधर व्यस्त थे, तो उन्होंने कहा कि वेणुगोपाल जी आपको बात करेंगे। लेकिन जब बालू जी और वेणुगोपाल जी से बात हुई, उसमें जिस प्रकार से एक पुरानी मानसिकता है कि हम डिक्टेट करेंगे टर्म्स को, उस मानसिकता को फिर से दिखाया गया कि नहीं, शर्त है कि पहले लोकसभा का उपाध्यक्ष कौन होगा वो पहले तय करें, फिर अध्यक्ष के लिए समर्थन मिलेगा। इस प्रकार की राजनीति को हम की निंदा करते हैं और मुझे लगता है कि अच्छी परंपरा ये रहती कि लोकसभा निर्विरोध एक सर्वसम्मति से अध्यक्ष चुनता, तो लोकसभा की भी मर्यादा अच्छी रहती, सभी पक्ष का उसमें योगदान रहता और स्पीकर वैसे भी किसी सत्तारूढ़ पार्टी या विपक्ष का नहीं होता है, वो पूरे सदन का होता है।
अब ये सब सामने आ जाएंगी, सब चीजें सामने आ जाएंगी, सब सामने आ रही है अभी चीजें, अभी सब सामने आ रही चीजें। जो विपक्ष की मांग यही थी कि उपाध्यक्ष विपक्ष का हो, जो हमारी राय पार्टी की है वो है कि उपाध्यक्ष विपक्ष का हो और बाकी बातें अभी सब सामने आ जाएंगी। अभी सामने आपको दिखाई देगा, इसी सीढ़ियों के बाद सदन है।
देखिए, जैसा मैंने कहा कि इस तरीके से शर्त लोकतंत्र में नहीं रखी जाती, और खास तौर पे जब सदन के अध्यक्ष की आप बात कर रहे हैं, आप उसके सामने शर्त रखेंगे कि एक डिप्टी।
कल कहा था सहमति का, और आज जो उप अध्यक्ष का पद है वो भी वो देने के लिए तैयार नहीं। तो अगर पहले जैसा ही अहंकार बरकरार रहेगा तो हमारा भी लोकतंत्र को बचाने का और सदन की गरिमा को बचाने का संघर्ष बरकरार रहेगा। और इसीलिए हमने अपनी तरफ से के सुरेश जी उनको आगे हमने किया है।
Well, moving on, ladies and gentlemen, in the latest on the NEET controversy, the Central Bureau of Investigation will interrogate suspects arrested by the Bihar and the Gujarat police. All of these suspects will be taken into custody for CBI questioning. The Human Resource Development Ministry has instructed the CBI to thoroughly investigate any role of public servants if found. CBI is awaiting forensic reports of seized mobile phones and examination question papers. After receiving the reports, the CBI will study the forensic findings. CBI suspects that the NEET leak may be more localized as the paper was distributed amongst a close-knit group. Meanwhile, the Bihar government issued a notification on the 24th of June transferring the investigation of the NEET UG 2024 paper leak case to the CBI under the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act. The CBI has come to action as Patna's SSP Rajiv Mishra has been called to the CBI office. The meeting lasted for about half an hour.
आज न्यायालय में